Good afternoon, dear comrades. First of all, I would like to congratulate you on your recent holiday. May 9th is the victory day of the Soviet people in the Great Patriotic War, and I want to do it myself. I know 9. You should all be in your workplace, in the fighting environment to welcome this holiday. In this regard, I would like to thank you and all your subordinates. This battle work. Work is proceeding according to the approved plan and prepared by the group command. General Staff and all assigned tasks execute not just last year's results. I want to say again, all the enemy's counterattacks were repelled. Well then, starting this year, our troops are all over the place. They are constantly improving their situation every day. I will return to this point. They are completing all the tasks set by the Ministry of Defense and the General Staff. This, what does he expect from us? We see what all countries are doing from you. Neo-Nazi regime, border zone. They haven't done that in years, since 2014. When did we try to resolve it peacefully? Unfortunately, the conflict did not succeed. We were forced to start protecting our people in these territories. With the help of the armed forces, well, the more effective you are on the line of contact, the more likely we are to resolve this issue peacefully. We've always been trying to do this. I've always talked about it. Dear comrades, did you know that according to the Constitution, after the election of the president of the country, the government of the Russian Federation will change? We have 6 new ministers: energy, sports, transportation, industry, agriculture, and defense. I would like to thank Sergei for every goal he has done in building the armed forces over the years. According to legend, he has a new look. I think none of us has any doubt that this appearance has been created, including in response to today's requirements for modern methods of armed struggle. Yes, we all know that there is still a lot of work to be done. Many things were not clear before the hostilities began, and we did not. Everyone, for those of us in the world who deal with the construction of our armed forces in some way, this is obvious. But how quickly we respond to the requirements of the times affects us. I believe that all of our tasks of this kind have been solved. Sergei Kujugetovich is moving to another job. Do you know about this? He will be Secretary of the Security Council, a constitutional body formed by the President. Its task is to assist the head of state in leading the entire power component of the country. He was appointed the new Secretary of Defense, Belousov Andrei Ramovich. Please. This is mainly due to the increase in military spending. Let me remind you that in the mid-80s, the Soviet Union's total defense and security spending was about 13%. In 2024, this year, our total defense and security spending will be about 8% and 10%. It could be super, about 8 and 7 and 10% more. Of course, it's not 13 like the Soviet Union, but it's still a solid value. It's a big resource. And we have an obligation to dispose of it, very cautious and effective. Andrei Ramovich led his time. Ministry of Economic Development, then worked in the government. The president is an assistant to the president and, in recent years, was the first deputy prime minister of the Russian Federation. He led economic bloc. And of course, he is well aware of what needs to be done to make the economy of the entire power group and the Ministry of Defense a key link in the group. Integrate into the national sharing economy. This is extremely important because it involves the innovation and development of industry and the consideration of the possibility of budget economy. We are still starting from this by increasing defense and security spending while increasing spending. We believe that all social obligations to citizens must be fulfilled and that our national development goals in all aspects, including social development, must be achieved and achievable with education, healthcare, support for veterans in mind. For collateral, pension services and so on. All of this must be done unconditionally. In growing defense spending. At the same time, we see and understand that the increase in defense and security spending is somehow organically related to civilian production, which in turn promotes the development of the entire industry. Maintaining and increasing jobs in our country, unemployment is at an all-time low today, but this is the relationship between cannons, the so-called cannons and oil. It should be organically integrated into the overall development strategy of the Russian state. I hope Andreevich can take on this task. Best of all, she, Veronica, has recently been on my behalf doing some dual-use things, especially the development of drones and other drones. Sergei Kujugetovich did not do the same through the Ministry of Defense. The outgoing Minister of Defense will, in addition to acting as Secretary of the Security Council, lead a committee in PK which operates under the President and will be responsible for organizing the work of the Federal Office for Foreign Cooperation. I think Sergei Fedorovich understands better than anyone else the need to ensure our obligations to our partners in the field of supplying weapons and military equipment to foreign markets. Considering that we must first ensure the needs of our armed forces, this combination is very delicate. Sergei Yurievich will also work with the Ministry of Defense, the leadership of the Ministry of Defense, and the Chief of General Staff. As for the General Staff itself and the entire structure that provides combat work, there are no changes and no plans.
Что касается самого генерального штаба и всей структуры, которая обеспечивает боевую работу, здесь никаких изменений нет и не планируется. Хочу, чтобы это было всем понятно.
I want everyone to understand that. So this is the combat work unit he has developed.
Он сложился, он функционирует.
It works rhythmically and successfully.
Действует успешно, и здесь никаких изменений.
No changes expected here. That's what I want to say.
Вот это то, что я хотел бы сказать в начале.
At first, but as agreed, Sergei Yurievich Valery Vasilievich asked to organize our meeting so that we could talk. In the current situation of the line of contact, we do this every day. I want to hear from you, the leadership of the Ministry of Defense and the Chief of General Staff. I generally understand what and how it happened, but it's one thing to listen to the report. Ingushetia and the minister, it's another matter to talk directly to you. We don't often ourselves, but we usually meet regularly. And I think it's time to talk about it in more detail, in every direction of combat work. Thank you.